Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Sam and I make music under the name thisnewlight. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, before I get into anything today, I just want to say that this is the first take capture of what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. In the past, when I've done YouTube videos, I've kind of tried to do the best take and recorded multiple versions of a video, going back and cut it all together very meticulously. But today I want to do a first time capture of me looking back at this song and talking you through it. So anyway, just a little bit of a disclaimer. Okay, so today I'm going to do a production breakdown of my song First in Line. I'm titling this video How to Produce Indie Folk Music because I myself find myself going down this rabbit hole of just listening and watching all these other producers make music and talk about how they make music. And I really love it. I love watching Mix with the Masters and seeing how Jack Antonoff produces Sabrina Carpenter. And so today I'm going to do a similar kind of thing where I show you the Logic project that I sent off to be mastered and walk you through the instruments that I have put in this song, the plugins that I've put in to process that audio. But yeah, I'm just excited. I honestly think this is one of my favorite songs to date that I've produced. It's a very role model inspired track. There's a lot of drums that drive this song. I feel like it's quite catchy. And from a producing point of view, I'm actually really proud of the song and I still enjoy listening to it every now and then. So let's jump into that Logic file right now. And what's really cool about today, I found out that QuickTime can actually capture a screen recording, an audio recording, and like a mic input and computer playback all at the same time. So I'm really hoping today that just makes my whole job easier when it comes to editing. One more thing that I will say is I'm coming to you kind of semi-live from a new home studio. As I said, I moved to the sunny coast earlier this year, and so I've kind of set up this room now for producing my own music and producing other clients' music, and I'm really loving it. It's such a bright space. It feels very intimate and special, and so if you're wondering why the backdrop looks different again, it's because I've moved. So yeah, let's get into the Logic project. Before I show you anything, actually no, scrap that. I'm just going to play a bit of the song and then talk about it. What if it was like yeah, one sec.
Dennis was saying the other day how your dad's a stand-up guy.
Okay, I'll stop there. Now that I've showed you a bit of the song, just for all the nerds out there that care about mastering and like mix bus processing, I don't know heaps about this, and another disclaimer, I'm not super technical in how I approach stuff. I kind of just ascribe to the belief that if it sounds good, it is good, thanks to Miles Davis. Okay, so on the mastering bus, I've got a limiter, so it kind of is starting to sound a little bit compressed like it should be. I've got a gain plugin that's just going to help me control how much volume I'm sending to that limiter. I've got Soothe, which is this incredible plugin that just smooths over harsh frequencies. I've got a little bit of compression, about 2 dBs of compression on the whole mastering sound. I do this little EQ of the side only, which just monos the bass. It just means for your kick drum, you shouldn't be getting any stereo imaging from a kick. It should be straight down the middle. So by setting up a Logic channel EQ and setting it just to side only, that monos the bass. And I've got that up to 100 Hertz. And then the only other mastering thing I've got here is just some coloring where I've gone, okay, I like those frequencies, I don't like those frequencies. It's no more than, like 1.4 dB of change. and I find that when I'm listening back to a mix versus a reference track, I mix really dull. So I often boost those highs from 4K onwards just so it starts to sound a bit more like a reference. Okay, that's all the nerdy stuff out of the way. From the start, you can kind of hear this background, roomy sound. You don't really know what's going on. It's all these like outtakes. And that was something that I really wanted to do at the start of this track, to kind of communicate to you this song was recorded in a room. Here's what it sounded like. So let me just show you that one more time. Okay, so that's myself and Dennis from Love 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 Music. One day we kind of came together. I asked him to help me with some of the songwriting and producing, and so this was kind of just some outtakes of him and I, you know, jamming in the room, trying to figure out the drum beat, talking about how we were going to record it. And I just wanted to throw that in at the start of the track because I felt like that was a very cool moment in time, and I didn't want people to feel like it was meticulously produced in some studio. So that's what you hear at the start. Let me show you just the guitars from the intro because I think they sound pretty cool. Okay, so that's the guitars from the start. This main guitar will go throughout the whole song pretty much. I never do this, but this song is played entirely in standard tuning. Yeah, it's actually pretty wild. All my guitars aren't tuned to standard because I just don't really like how it sounds. But I wanted to kind of sign up for this more generic sounding acoustic. So here we go. I'll show you the main acoustic. So we've got a bit of compression going, a bit of EQing where I'm taking out a lot of the low end. This scanner vibrato is probably the coolest thing I can show you here. So I wanted to make sure that with this track there was a lot of saturation, distortion, and kind of destroying any sound where I could. So that will kind of be a bit of a running theme, hopefully from this video today. So if I really max this out, it's a vibrato that's trying to make this guitar sound very tapey. So that's a really cool effect where you get this vibrato, panning-y kind of chorus. And I just wanted that to be very subtle, but going through the whole acoustic guitar take. Okay, brief intermission. I had to answer a phone call from my wife. Okay, we're back to it. So this is a rubber bridge. I've got the mic and the pickup audio coming through, and I've just mixed them to taste. This is what it sounds like. I'll show you just the mic, which I've EQ'd pretty heavily, and that's the pickup. So I wanted the pickup to sound really dull and dead, and the mic to sound quite paper thin. Okay, let's keep it moving. The other thing we've got is a Nashville guitar, which is a beautiful sounding guitar tuning where most of the strings are tuned up the octave. This is what that sounds like. So you kind of get these guitar chords that don't really sound like chords. They just sound like kind of like a 12 string without the lower octave. And I've got some chorus on that. Let's make that even more exaggerated. I didn't really do anything, but it's got chorus on it, so maybe I can A-B it. Yeah, you just get a bit more stereo width, which is kind of cool. My friend Aaron, Mountain Boy, from New Zealand, he recorded some slide guitar for me, which sounds beautiful. I got some delay and reverb on that, And then the last thing is this electric guitar melody, which I recorded in 3 parts. Let's hear each of those. So another disclaimer, I am not an electric guitar player and I don't know a lot about guitar tone. So often when I try and create a sound go from a sound in my head to a sound in Logic, I don't know how to do it, so I just do a lot of stacking, a lot of experimenting, and in this instance, I just did a stack of 3, so I had 3 octaves playing the same part. Not too much else from there, so let's leave the guitars, but I think they sound really cool. Let's listen to a bit of the drums, and for some reason I've got a separate snare sound, so let's have a listen to that. With our bass and kick now. Okay, so I don't know how to mix drums, and this is my attempt of mixing drums. So what I have decided to do is I've got a drum kit behind me, just here, and I'm slowly figuring out how to capture it better. But what I've got here is just the overheads recorded on a separate take. So I record snare and cymbals in one take through a left and right miking system. Then I sample the kick sound, and actually in this instance I've just literally got a MIDI kick. I might have taken it from Splice. And then I've got a snare sound that is just MIDI, but I would have captured the sound of the snare and then thrown it into a MIDI like sampler kind of thing. So on this song, I've got the kick as MIDI that I didn't capture. The snare I did capture, and I'm just kind of playing it in, and then the overheads are actually recorded. On the drum bus, there is a tape emulation, which is probably cool to hear back. Let's see if we can hear the difference between that. So the biggest difference is the volume level, but it's kind of dulling and kind of putting a tape emulation on the drums. Another instance where I'm trying to destroy the signal. And lastly, the bass is quite destroyed. What do we have? There's a compressor, Soothe. Chroma Glow is probably crushing it quite a bit, and track space is just taking out the low end. It's ducking it whenever the kick goes in. So let's hear the bass. It's pretty gritty, and maybe I can just take this off for a sec. The really cool thing about Logic is this plugin called Chroma Glow. For some reason, I was working with someone recently and they didn't have access to Chroma Glow on their Logic plugin. Not sure why, but this is a great plugin for saturation and distortion. Let's A/B that. So interesting, the level is a little bit quieter, but I really like that distortion. Awesome. So that's a bit of an overview of everything that's there. So let's now go into our vocals and kind of show you how I've recorded vocals. So there's a lot of plugins on this. And I think the reason I would have done that is because I normally double or triple my vocal takes. I really don't like how my voice sounds like soloed. And so what I would have done to compensate for that is done a lot of processing. There's melodyne and pitch correction. Let's be honest, any vocal take has pitch correction on it, so this is me just being extra safe. So I'm not going to unfreeze this track because there's a lot of automation at the end that just overloads my computer. But I've got some saturation on this. Where am I looking? Chow tape. Yeah, that's like a tape emulation. So I did want to have some saturation on the vocal, which you can definitely hear. Just compression, EQing. A noise gate would just be trying to get rid of all like the kind of sounds in the vocal take, and Soothe to just kind of smooth over it. Let's hear a little bit of that vocal by itself, and then we'll hear all the chorus come in with other vocals.
So I made up my mind, I'll chase you till you love me, be a dripping tap, a squeaking wheel. I'll wait here till you turn around and find just what you're looking for.
Okay, so I've got some doubles coming in at the chorus, and they're probably panned quite wide, as you can see. Yep. And that's just to make my voice sound bigger. I've got a female vocalist that I'm not going to name because she is incredible, but she did ask not to be named on this track. So I've got a female vocal that's just doubling that main hook. I'll chase you till you love me. I'll wait here until you turn around, which is kind of cool. I've got a harmony vocal and some gang vocals. Let me play that harmony.
Chase you till you love me.
Anyway, it doesn't sound incredible, but in the context of everything, it does sound pretty cool. Some gang vocals that Dennis and I recorded that are pretty rough, and I probably distorted them quite a bit and EQ'd them pretty hard.
I'll chase you till you love me, be a dripping tap, a squeaking wheel out.
So that's kind of where you get that tapey, distorted sound in the chorus from. And those takes were pretty rough. So anyway, that's kind of how the vocals sound from there. Let's have a little bit of a listen to the interlude. I don't know if I'm jumping through too fast or going too slow, but you tell me in the comments. And as I said, I'm not a producer. A lot of this is me just teaching myself what to do and trialing and making mistakes. Let's hear the last bit of the chorus into the interlude.
Would you take a chance? Would you take a chance on me? Tell me you're not seeing anyone anymore, and you're working on yourself.
So we kind of have this section drop out. Everything goes back down just to the bass. Hilarious. I'm pretty sure I put in a whistle here, but it's so quiet I don't think you can even hear it in the whole mix. Let's just hear the whistles and guitars. I probably left that in more out of this belief that I heard another producer have, where it's like every section should be different. If you repeat a chorus, something about it should be different. So I repeated that little melody, but I added in a whistle. Maybe for texture, I don't know, you can't really hear it. But I am noticing as well, maybe this guitar part is getting slightly more driven with each progression. What do we have here? Some power chords, cool. Let's have a listen to those. That's a bit new. Oh yeah. I love that. With every song that I'm doing, I'm choosing to put more and more distortion and saturation on parts because I just love the texture it brings. So underneath all of the chorus is a very driven electric part. Let's see if you can hear it in context just with the guitars. So cool, so cool. And the slides sound unreal. So yeah, awesome. Okay, let's keep going. If you want to listen to the song in its entirety, please do on Spotify, and this is a great opportunity. Please like this video, comment, subscribe to me on YouTube. That would be incredible. But also, please go and listen to these songs on Spotify. That would mean the absolute world to me. And click follow. I so appreciate your support. Let's keep going. Most of this song doesn't really change until we get to the bridge. Let's have a listen to that.
Notice me, look my way, tell me, babe, is there any part of you that's wanting my name? Don't you slip on the way to something good, something great. You don't know what you're missing now. notice me, 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 notice me. I'll chase you till you love me, be a dripping tap, a squeaking wheel. I'll wait here till you turn around and find just what you're looking for. And if it
Okay, so I played that a little bit longer, but I really like it. So what we hear in this little interlude, I'm just going to mute the vocals and we can just listen back to what the instruments do through that section. You can hear those drums sound really bad in isolation. But anyway, I'm trying to get better at recording drums. So what we have from there, I put in these random effects. Let's see if I can find those. Intro effects. I just went to Splice and just found like some noise. Let's see if I can find it. It's just random people. It says, Oat City street people walk talk, Wala, Spain, Malaj. Excuse me. So I just wanted some noise. Sometimes you just need random noise. So that's that. I just wanted there to be like almost setting a scene of where this moment's taking place. I have this one moment where there's this string slide. I love how when you hear some things in isolation, they sound terrible. I got given a free violin that has 3 strings on it, and I cannot play this, but I love trying to play it, and that's me doing a bit of a slide, and I had to melodyne that quite a bit, I think. Yeah, pitch correction, and cut it together so it sounded kind of reasonable. Another really cool part about this bridge, let's see if we can find it. So we got some like... Let's hear this section. I've got like a mellotron, which is a very cool sounding pad. Sounds very tapey. Cool, a very like tapey sounding piano too. There's like a vinyl plugin. Let me take a moment to just honor how cool this plugin is. It's free from Isotope, and in the spirit, once again, of destroying things, I've put this on to make it sound really out of tune. Let me really exaggerate this. So it's called Warp. Maybe I'll just play it one more time, just in isolation, without the thing. Okay. So it pretty much detunes what you're hearing. So cool. And in this moment, I just wanted that piano to sound absolutely trash. And so I've destroyed it once again. Cool. So nothing else really changes there. It all drops back just to like the kick and I think this little Nashville guitar. Let's hear those 2 in isolation. Pretty boring acoustic part. Double with rubber bridge. I love that Nashville. Okay, so that's pretty stock standard. Let's now hear the electric guitar driven part, which comes in again. Very cool. Once again, I just love destroying things. I think I'm getting in a bad habit of just destroying things more often than I should. So cool. I love that. I love that so much. I wish that part was louder in the mix, but when I tried it, it just overpowered it. So cool. So we've just got like these guitar power chords and this melody. But what makes it so fun is like I don't know, I've just done random stuff. There's flanger on one take. There's a scan of vibrato, that thing before, which is so cool. I love this part. I think it's so cool. Let's hear that with the banjo and maybe some bass. Just bass and banjo. Cool. That banjo is just recorded with one mic. Pan to the left. I don't think there's anything fancy done to it, just as is. I've probably taken out a bit of the highs because banjo is very bright. Let's hear the banjo at the end, and I'll slowly just bring some things in. Very cool, very cool. Maybe the last thing that I'll just show you is the piano part that I spent a lot of time on. Sadly doesn't get a lot of, you don't hear it that much, but it's a really cool part and it just gives it this liveliness. Once again, I'm trying to do this thing where no chorus is the same, so this has a lot of piano in it. Sick. So cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those songs where you're like, oh, should I put out an acoustic version? It's just really cool. Like if I showed you an acoustic version of this last chorus, you'd be like, yeah, sick.
I'll chase you till you love me, be a dripping tap, a squeaking wheel. I'll wait here till you turn around and find just what you're looking for. And if it takes yet another.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And I think that's why this song, in my mind, still stands up really well. Even when I listen to it after I've heard it a billion times, I just like all of those bits in isolation so much. Is there anything else that I need to show you? I think there's just like some yelly stuff, which is just me trying to yell and sound somewhat belty, which I can't really do that much. Yeah, like I don't think there's anything too much more to talk through. But yeah, this is just a fun experiment in writing a bit more of an upbeat, role model-y kind of song and trying to destroy things. And I think this is probably the first song where I was really like, you know what? Adding distortion, adding saturation really makes a song sick. So yeah, this is first in line. I might just like drop in a little bit of audio to finish off the track. But yeah, I think this is, I'm really, really stoked with this song. I love the feel of it. I love what it's about. It's about my wife and how we got together. But yeah, I'm really proud of this song and I hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be now because on my camera it's saying 20 minutes, but I recorded that first bit before my wife called, which was going for about 15 minutes. So hopefully I can cut this down a little bit. But anyway, thank you guys for sticking around. I'm really keen to do some more of these, so maybe comment below if there's some other songs that you would like for me to talk through. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you're well, and thanks for sticking around till the end. I'll see you guys later. I don't know, maybe I'll do some cool transition like that. Thanks, guys. See ya.